Hi, welcome back to English 111 Online. I hope you had a good break, and I hope that you have continued to work on your Project 4 Persuasive Problem Solution essay because we only have 3 weeks left in the course, and it's important that you not get behind on this. The final core Project 4 is due July 21st before midnight. This week, though, I want you to have enough research done and enough information put together to complete an outline for this essay, and then you're going to use that outline to go from there to flesh it out to a full rough draft, so that next week hopefully you can submit it to Smart Thinking and you can get some feedback from Smart Thinking. You can polish it up and be ready to submit it by the 21st before midnight. So one of the assignments due this week is going to be your outline for Core Project 4. And also due this week is your Core Project 3, which is the annotated bibliography or the annotated works cited. And the reason for that is in doing your research, you need to have saved all of your sources that you're going to use in this paper. And I want you to go ahead and get it done correctly so that then your works cited page, of course, for your essay will be based on what you've done with your annotated works cited. Of course, if you found other sources that you want to include, you can add those to your final essay. What we need to do is review the document that tells us what the Core Project 4 is all about. Remember, it's a problem solution essay, first of all, in that you're introducing a world problem, a global problem, and you are finding solutions for that problem. And so that's what you've been researching on last week before last, before the holiday break. You had to fill out a journal that was related to the problem, explaining why the problem is a problem, the amount of problem that there is, and some solutions that could help solve that problem. And you could get all that information from the website that I gave you here in the link to here. So review that. What you're supposed to be focusing on, so you don't get off base. I don't want an essay on global warming, whether it's happening or not. I want, if you choose climate change, I want you to focus on what the Global Goals website has given you information about. Okay, so that's one thing that you'll be doing this week is this outline. So let's take a look at the outline. 2 weeks ago you got the instructional organizational outline, and that's what you're going to fill out. But I have also given you an extra document this week, Global Goals Introduction, and the rest of the outline that you're supposed to do. So this is pretty interesting to look at this. I ask you in your global in your outline that I gave you 2 weeks ago to start with an attention getter. And so I got my information here from my attention getter from the Global Goals website. So I started it with my attention getter. According to the United Nations Sustainable Global Goals webpage, globally, 750 million women and girls were married before the age of 18, and at least 200 million women and girls in 30 countries have undergone FGM, female genital mutilation. And then here's my my citation for that is Goal 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. And there's my my citation, remember, becomes part of the, and I should have a quote, end quotation there, so I'll put it in. But here is my citation in parentheses at the end. That lets your reader know where I got that from. Well, I have also on this document a sample works cited page so that you can look at it and see. And there is my citation there. It matches here what I put in parentheses there. And that is very important for you to do. Whatever you put in your in-text citation in the parentheses needs to match whatever is hanging out here on the hanging indent of your works cited page. Let me go back to my introduction then. So I got an attention getter, and then I need to explain to my reader what this global goals problem and solution is all about. So I need to let my reader know. So I've put a little bit in here about what these global goals are, and then I'm going to narrow that down to the one that I'm speaking about. So I do that here. Because of such atrocities, in September of 2015, the United Nations created 17 Sustainable Global Goals, which are intended to encourage all countries, rich and poor, to, and again, I've used a quotation from the website, promote prosperity while protecting the planet. I wanted to use those words because I liked the alliteration of it, all those P's, and I didn't think I could say it any better. And that's the kind of thing you should quote, is something that that the words are perfect and you want to use them, but you need to put them in quotation marks like that if you use them. Otherwise, you can just summarize or paraphrase the words. So promote prosperity while protecting the planet. And then here's my in-text citation, parentheses, and it's going to match the Sustainable Development Agenda, which is on the works cited page. So scroll back to my works cited page, and there it is, the Sustainable Development Agenda. Notice the works cited page is in hanging indent. It makes it easy for somebody to look back there and find it. And notice that it's all in alphabetical order. And if you ever have something, a title that starts with numbers instead of a word, numbers always come before words in an alphabetical listing. But all of mine start with words, so I could put them in alphabetical order by that. Okay, so I have explained a little bit about what the goal is, what the global goals are, and specifically what. Now we're going to go into specifically narrowing it down, because an introduction always narrows down. We're going to put in explain how this relates to the goal we're talking about. So one of the 17 goals is Goal 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Again, that is the goal. I took the words directly from the website, so I put it in quotation marks, which is designed to help eliminate the discrimination and violence that girls encounter in every part of the world. And again, I use the exact words from the website. That's why it's in quotation marks. Here is my citation at the end. You don't have to type out the whole title that sticks out on the works cited page. You can abbreviate it as long as it's not confusing. And I didn't have anything else that started with Goal 5. And so I can just put Goal 5 there. Then I can, what this is for, it's shorthand to let somebody go to the works cited page and find out what it is. To help eliminate these problems faced by girls worldwide, there are 3 sustainable solutions that must be implemented. Now here I'm getting down to, here is my thesis statement. I'm telling you what must be done to solve this problem. I've explained how the global goals are intended to solve these problems, and I have narrowed it down to the problem I'm talking about, which is gender equality. And now I'm going to give my thesis statement. The thesis statement will be the last sentence in the introduction paragraph, and the last sentence in the introduction paragraph will list these 3 solutions that must be implemented. You need a must or a should word in your persuasive essay, because I'm going to spend the rest of the essay trying to convince my readers that these solutions are good, workable solutions, and they should be continued, and they should be implemented. So that's why my thesis statement says there are 3 sustainable solutions that must be implemented. And then a colon, what a colon does is says, and here they are. And so here they are: ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health and reproductive rights. I got that directly from the Global Goals website. Eliminate all forms of violence against all women and girls in the public and private spheres, including trafficking and sexual and other types of exploitation. And third, here's my third one: eliminate all harmful practices such as child, early and forced marriage, and female genital mutilation. And I got that from Spotlight on Sustainable Development Goal 5, Achieve Gender Equality and Empower All Women and Girls. And there it is, my in-text citation, which matches in alphabetical order. Go down to S on the works cited page, and you will see that starts with an S, Spotlight. There it is, Spotlight on Sustainable Development Goal 5. Now, use this MLA format to help you with your annotated works cited page that is due this week, because it needs to be in hanging indent. It needs to start with the title of the web page. Then it needs to have the name of the website, and that needs to be the title goes in quotation marks, the website goes in italics. The date of publication, if you can't find an exact date, just the year is fine. I've got comma 2019. And then the URL, and you get that directly from your browser on the page that you're using, and you can paste it right into your document. And then we want to put the date of access. I accessed this the 1st of April 2019, and our date of access goes that way with the number of the day of the month abbreviated, and then 2019. You don't need any commas in there. 1 April 2019. You only need commas in a date if the numbers can be confusing. And because the international dating method does it this way, it's never confusing. So you don't need any commas in there, and then a period at the end. If you use this as a pattern for your annotated works cited page for everything that you are going to use in your essay, you should be good. The only difference is the annotated works cited after this at date of access, you'll come back to your first paragraph, which will be done right here in line with this, so that the only thing hanging out is still the first word of your web page. And then you'll have 2 or 3 sentences that tell what this article is all about, what this page is all about. And then you'll have another paragraph underneath that telling how you know this is a good source. And so to get that information for your annotated works cited, you can there are some things I have put on the Moodle page for this week. If you don't know how to summarize a source, here's some information about summarizing a source, and here's some information about evaluating a source. I told you to fill out those CRAAP sheets as you got to your documents so that you'll know whether this is a good source or not. Okay, I've also put the Project 3 annotated works cited assignment document up there again for you to look at in case you need to see that again. All right, so working on your outline and working on your continued research, finishing up the outline and turning it in this week, finishing up the annotated works cited and turning it in this week should get you in a really good position so that all you have to do is flesh all this information out next week for a rough draft to turn into smart thinking and get it all polished up to turn in your final essay. Use the information I've given you. I put this information on here to help you, so don't be confused. Just look at what I've done and pattern yours after what I've done, and you'll be in really good shape. So when we're looking at the outline, the instructional outline, pull that back up. It tells you I gave this to you 2 weeks ago. I made a copy of it, duplicated it, and put it on this week also. It tells you what you need in your introduction, in your background paragraph, in your body paragraphs. You're going to have 3 solutions that support your claim that the goal should be met with evidence. So look up things that would explain how these global goals are being solved already. So you want to try to find something that elaborates on those 3 solutions. Of course, each paragraph you're going to have a topic sentence that tells what the solution is. You're going to give some information about where it's already being implemented, how it's being implemented, how it's a really great solution, and you're going to bring in evidence from your research to back that up, that it is a good solution. We need to continue to follow it. In your putting together your outline, putting together a rough draft, you want to try to use all 3 of these kinds of persuasive techniques. Logos, logical, something that appeals to the brain, expert opinions, authorities, laws, facts, things like that. Ethos, ethical, appeals to the sense of right and wrong. Morality, an expert authority that can back you up that this is the right thing to do. You can, and also part of ethos is how well you write the essay, because you prove to yourself with your good writing that you are an authority because you've researched and done this essay. And then finally, pathos, emotional, something that appeals to the heart. Stories, examples of mutilated young women, women being married at 8 years old and things like that. That thing that tugs at the heart instead of the brain. Try to get as much of this different kinds of arguments in your paper as you can. Everything needs to be backed. Don't just say it. Back it up with evidence that you've gotten from your research. And then we come down to the refutation part. So you'll have an introduction, you'll have a background information, then you'll have your 3 parts of your 3 solutions, and then there's always going to be somebody that says it won't work, it's not important, something like that. And in refutation, we answer the other side. So answer the other side, explain why the other side is wrong, examine for logical fallacies. If you see anything that appears to make sense, but that it's not really sensical, then point it out in your answer. And then, of course, your conclusion here. So I have given you information on the Moodle page for this week for how to get to prepare your where is it? Refutation. Here it is. Talking back to the other side. This is really good website. Click on that. It tells you exactly what goes in a refutation paragraph, how to do it, and then writing a conclusion paragraph. It tells you it's the same website, but that takes you directly to the page about conclusion paragraphs. I put those on there. Follow those samples. They're really good. They break it down, explain exactly what you should do. So I have also given you this bit of help here, a sample outline for Core Project 4. And my sample outline, this is what your outline should basically look like. Go ahead and do your MLA format. Put your title on here of the goal that you're going to be giving your information for. Here's the introduction paragraph, complete with thesis. I just put the same one that I went over before. Background paragraph, put a little bit of information. I put mine in sentences, but you do not have to use complete sentences here. You can use bullets if that is better for you. Your body paragraph 1, what is your solution? And put some bullets in there about evidence that you found to back that up. I've got one for each of the 3 solutions. Opposition paragraph, what does the opposition say? How are you going to come back and answer them and say that they are wrong? And then in your refutation paragraph, and then your conclusion. So fill out use my pattern for the sample outline. That's what you're going to submit on the link this week. So continue to research. We don't have much time left, so continue to do that and get it together as much as you can this week. If you've worked ahead, great. You should be in really good shape for this week. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to help you. And do follow the correct MLA format using the examples I've given you. I put all this together to help you, so use the information I've given you. And I'll see you next time.